My name is Kristen White, and this is going to be my persuasive speech. I want you to close your eyes and imagine that you're sitting in a witness room. Today, you're going to witness Clayton Lockett, a convicted felon, be executed for his crimes. In the year 2000, Mr. Lockett was convicted of first-degree murder, kidnapping, rape, and robbery. When they bring Mr. Lockett into the room, he is fastened down on a gurney. His arms and legs are strapped down to secure him in his place. You watch the medics as they administer the IVs, and you watch them administer the chemicals that are going to take his life. As the minutes pass, you see a subtle twitch in Mr. Lockett's body, and those twitches turn into convulsions. You watch as his back arches up off the gurney as he tries to free himself from his restraints, and you watch him gasp for air. It's at this point that the curtains are drawn and that you're asked to leave the room. What you don't see after you've left the witnessing room is that the shaking and the convulsing and gasping continues. You don't see that he is struggling, and you don't hear him gasp in struggled breaths and tell the medics that something's wrong. Those were Clayton Lockett's last words. Something's wrong. This procedure is supposed to last under 5 minutes. So he was right. Something was very wrong. Because he remained alive 43 minutes after he was administered this drug, and when his life was finally taken, when he finally did die, his cause of death was not from the drugs that he had been given. His cause of death was from a heart attack caused by complications from the drugs that were administered to him. I want you to open your eyes. After hearing Mr. Clayton's story, can we really say that capital punishment is humane? That it's not cruel and unusual punishment? That's going to be something that I speak on in my speech today. Now, capital punishment was actually abolished in 1972. Courts found that a lot of times that the punishment would be too severe for the crime that it was being attached to, that it was arbitrary and not consistent, that you could have two people commit the exact same crime and that one person would be sentenced to death and that the other person would not be. And also that it was not as effective as, say, a lesser punishment like life in prison as opposed to capital punishment, as to taking the life altogether. And so in 1972, the death penalty was abolished. There was not one state in the United States of America that partook in it. Now in 1976, in Gregg versus Georgia, a new death penalty was proposed and was accepted by the court. They found that the new law, the new penalty, was more consistent, and also that that they determined in this case that capital punishment is not always cruel and unusual. And so since the year 1976, in America there have been about 1,400 executions in this country. And that number includes men as well as women and children. It was not until 2005 that the death penalty was taken off the table for convicts whose crimes had been committed as children. So up until that point, there were 22 children that had been executed for crimes they committed before their frontal lobe, which is the decision-making portion of your brain, before they were even capable of fully understanding their actions. Is it ethical? Can we say that it's humane to take a child's life for something that they may not have even been able to fully grasp? Children are so impressionable and so easily swayed one way or another. Can we really say that it's okay to take a life that young before they're able to really make decisions for themselves and be confident and understand the consequences that come with those decisions? As of January of 2015, 2015, as of January 1st of this year, there are about 10,000 people waiting on death row across the country. Um, there are numerous methods to carry out the capital punishment. The most prevalent, the primary use being lethal injection. There are also electrocution by the electric chair. There is gassing by a gas chamber, much like that that used in the Holocaust. Hanging, and also a firing squad where you are shot point blank. Um, and while lethal injection is, it can be said that it's more humane than others. Um, the fact that the other four are options is questionable. Is it humane to offer a gassing chamber to take one's life? Is it okay to give them that option of hanging or that option of firing squad in states where it is available, because it's not available in all states. But just the thought that those are available to convicts if they do choose to do that. It can also be said that capital punishment is not efficient, that it does not change, it does not sway the types of crime, or it doesn't decrease the crime rate. In 1999, there were 98 executions. That is the highest number of executions since its reinstatement in 1976 to this day. 98 executions. Now, one of the lowest years was just 4 years before, in 1995, where there were only 56 executions. Between those 2 years, in 1998, there were 15,000 murders and 89,000 rapes. Murder and rape are two of the crimes that are eligible for capital punishment. They're two of the prevalent ones. So there were 15,000 murders and 89 there were 15,000 murders and 89,000 rapes in 1998. In that year there were 98 executions. 4 years before, it was almost half of the executions, 56. But there were 21,600 murders and 97,000 rapes. So the numbers were higher in 1995 and lower in 1999, but for whatever reason, the number of executions went up. The number of executions was almost twice as that in 95. So clearly, just by those two numbers, capital punishment is not efficient. It does not it does not lower the crime rates. It does not deter others from following in the footsteps of whoever, and other criminals. It's not relevant. Also, murder and rape are, as I said before, murder and rape are the crimes that are usually those are the crimes that are eligible for capital punishment. Now, in some states, it has to be murder and some other aggravated charge, such as kidnapping or rape or robbery or what have you. But murder and rape, those are what make you eligible for the death penalty. How is it ethical to punish one for taking a life by taking their life? That goes on to say, or that leaves the impression that one life is more valuable than the other. What determines how do we determine whose life is more valuable and whose life is not? What kind of message does that give the public? the government tells us that it is illegal to kill. But if we do kill, then they have the legal right to kill us if so sentenced to do so. Can we say that that's moral? I challenge each of you to really think about the death penalty and its morality. Is it moral? Can we really say that it is?